it's great to have you. I don't know what happened to K-Mac. He's a busy guy, as we know, and John. And I want you to talk about your years at Plattsburgh High School. What made you become a college coach? And again, this is Charlie Mason, the head coach at New England College, substituting for John K-Mac. And please talk about your years at Plattsburgh High School.
Well, first time, I really appreciate having an opportunity to be on the radio with you. As you explained already, had the good fortune of playing for you as a freshman in high school, and that was a game changer for me. Plattsburgh High was an incredible opportunity because of the people and the direction I was given, and you were one of those people, and I'll be forever grateful for the opportunity you gave me and the example you set. So again, as you talk about different people that pushed me down this path of coaching, you were definitely one of those leaders.
That's so nice of you. Can you name others too?
The first person that comes to mind obviously would be Mike Flynn, who coached me for 3 years as the head coach on the varsity team. I would also, without hesitation, Mr. Ray Holmes.
Oh yeah.
He was the athletic director, and there are too many names.
I know. Yeah.
You mentioned Steve Holmes, Jeff Holmes. You couldn't swing a cat without hitting someone from Plattsburgh High School.
I know.
Had a connection with the basketball program.
Isn't it something though that Plattsburgh High School has the most college coaches than any other school in the state? That I think it trickles down to Ray Holmes, in my opinion, and it just he was such a influence, and that's my opinion. But it's unbelievable. It really is. So I want to talk also. I don't know if people know this, but Coach Mason won a national championship at, I believe you played at Concordia, correct?
Correct.
And can you talk about that? What it means to you? There's not too many people that won a national championship. I don't care if it was Canada or whatever. Name some of your teammates, name your coach, and name some players that maybe you still stay in touch with.
Well, the person who was really the catalyst of that was John Dorr, our head coach.
Okay.
He actually won the national championship his first year with us as the head coach. It was a great experience. It was really fortunate, and I think as we grow older, we become the truth sets through, and the reality was I wasn't very good. I was just really fortunate to be on a good team, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Hey,
so
you're too humble.
Yeah, we had good players. No, that's the truth.
You know what you had?
And truth.
You had so much heart, and heart, as you know, goes a long way, and that's what you had. And
but I lack talent.
Well,
so the heart without talent, there's some limitations that come with it. But that having been said, we had a really good team. We had some. Nick Arvianis ended up playing overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it was an incredible experience.
Was Trevor Williams on that team?
Trevor Williams actually was on the team for half a year.
Okay, he was outstanding, wasn't he?
He was. We beat University of Vermont that year with
oh
Trevor,
my gosh,
I believe.
And you beat Potsdam too, right?
Correct.
Wow.
So we had a good team.
That's unbelievable. There are not too many people, that have won a national championship, and it's phenomenal. Do you have a ring still from that?
I do.
Wow. When you speak at my camp, I want you to show that ring. The kids will be amazed, and thank you so much for always coming through, speaking at my camp. As you know, I love giving back to the community. I grew up extremely poor, And I got interviewed the other day by Mountain Lake PBS, and I mentioned your name, and I also snitched on a couple anonymous donors, but I didn't name their names, but I showed pictures of them, and I'm not going to name their names, but they gave $3,000, which is phenomenal. One of them was my teammate, and unfortunately, Charlie, back then, when bullying wasn't like a thing that was so bad, and we bullied him, and he just took it, and now he's a billionaire. And he is such a great guy. I ended up apologizing to him for actually being one of those bullies. Every guy in our team was bullying him, and it's unfortunate, but as you know, bullying is not allowed, and I felt horrible about it. So I apologized to him, and what a great guy he is. I can't name his name because he's anonymous, but it's all the teammates that I have donated to my camp, every one of them, and your donation on coming all the way from New England College. How long of a drive is it?
It's approximately 3 hours.
Wow. Okay.
I think, Tom, one thing I would really like to add, I really believe greatness is the ability to make other people better, and I think that's something that you exemplify. You've exemplified as long as I've known you. The energy you bring to the court, your genuine interest in others, those are gifts that I know I'm not the only one who appreciates. And what you do with that camp really sets you apart in that example. So I just, I applaud you for the energy, the effort that you put into this on a yearly basis, and connecting people and making a difference in young people's lives.
Yeah.
Just like you did in my life when I was in 9th grade.
Mm-hmm. Who is better, Charlie Mason or Harry Reid? I'm going to ask that question.
Harry Reid.
Come on, you are so humble, Charlie. No one worked harder than you.
Yeah, I appreciate that outlook.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my limitations, and again, really grateful for the opportunity to grow up in Plattsburgh and have people like you give me that kind of direction. Have people like Harry Reid and Vinny and Mark Delio and those guys, to grow up with. So I couldn't think of a better opportunity than what I had growing up.
Mm-hmm. And when you played for Mike Flynn, what was your best game? Do you recall anything that really a game that?
Yeah, my best game is when we went down. We beat Onteora in a sectional championship in Glens Falls.
I didn't know that. Wow, gosh.
Yep. No, we weren't supposed to win. None of us brought stuff. We had to drive back home and play Catskill the next night, which was not as positive an experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things.
Remember the days playing at Memorial Hall? How we all got better. Charlie, I got to admit this. I'm not an AAU person. I really am not. And if you watch a video on YouTube by Kobe Bryant, he explains the same thing. He's not an AAU person either. And those are just, that's just me. And I think for running a free camp, I might have ticked off a few college coaches because, they charge, and I don't mean to, really. I really don't. So I can tell you that Greg Kubek...
I don't think you need to apologize for offering a camp like you do.
Yeah.
I think that's extremely humble.
Okay.
So I wouldn't. Yeah, I would not be concerned about how other people take that the wrong way. I can't imagine anyone doing that.
Yeah, but
in fact, just the opposite. If I'm running a camp and I'm actually charging, well, then your camp's only getting other people more excited about wanting to do more than one camp.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you another reason. Someone asked me, and I'm not going to say who it is. He said, "Tom, why do you have to give away stuff? You know, I mean, why don't you just just run a camp? And the reason is because I grew up so poor, couldn't afford sneakers, couldn't afford camp, and that's why I do it. Then that same person said, "Well, Tom, there are people that can afford the camp. Why are you giving them a break too?" And my response was, those parents need a break too. They pay for AAU, hotels, so many other things for their kids, and they need a break too. And that's why I do it. I don't care if they're millionaires. I really don't. They need a break still, and that's why that person kind of recognized that I was correct. And I love we're giving sneakers away this year. Every camper's going to get a pair of sneakers, and a lot of people, for some reason, are picking neon green. That seems to be their favorite color. But when you come...
Why do you think that is?
Because it's me. That's my favorite color. Yeah. But when you come, I'm going to give you something. It's a summer pullover. It's going to be bright orange, and it's actually for the summer. It's got a hood on it, and I'm going to give it to you for coming. And
well, you don't need to do that.
I'm doing it.
I'm excited about being at camp again, having a chance to be a part of what you've created. And again, I can't say enough about how much I appreciate the impact you made on my life, as well as so many other people. So just excited to be a part of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Of your camp.
You know what? I really loved your dad. I really did. What a nice guy he was. And I remember he let us use his van to go over to Vermont and play in that summer league. And I remember Eric Meggs, who actually was a pretty good player. And
yes, he was.
Yeah. And he always says, he says something every once in a while. He goes, "Coach, you were my favorite ever." And hearing that, I don't need to hear accolades and fanfare, but it's nice to hear that. It really is. And have you ever seen a movie called Varsity Blues?
I have not.
Okay, it's a football movie, but it's great. It teaches some things. And in that movie, the quarterback's name is Johnny Mox, and he's talking to his girlfriend, and he just had a great game, and she said to him, "Well, you're acting like a hero, like you're a hero. You're not a hero." And his response was, who wouldn't want to feel like a hero just for one day? Really. And someone put me down for seeking accolades and fanfare for my camp, which is so untrue. And that's my response to that. Just who honestly wouldn't want to feel that way, for a day? You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot to be said just knowing that you have a chance to make a difference in someone else's life. Tom, I think that's what you've been able to do with that camp, and you've always been that type of person. It's not about a basketball. That's more with the vehicle. What I recall in terms of playing for you and my experiences before and after that. Again, you talked about Memorial Hall. Those are some of the best memories I can recall growing up.
Great games, huh?
A great game. You know what? You talk about work ethic. I mean, there was the example. It was, there was nothing better than going Monday through Thursday to Memorial Hall at 6 o'clock at night in the summers, and the big fan going, and the chalkboard talking about the Celtics and the Lakers.
Oh yeah.
And God forbid if you lost because you had to sit a couple games.
I know it.
So I think that sums everything up. You talk about what habits are learned, and Memorial Hall really was a starting point for me, in large part because the people were there.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember Kevin Baldwin? He played at Plattsburgh State.
I do.
Yeah. he and Paul Einsman were on my show last week. It was great, and actually, Paul is. I'm sorry, Kevin is still playing, and he won a world championship. They go to all these tournaments all over the place, and like the 65 and over. He's still playing great, and I remember if you were on his team in a pickup game, you never lost, never. So, and I also remember another time. This is pretty neat too. You might remember it, but John Ford was playing one day, and you remember Paul Einsman, right?
I do.
Okay, well, John Ford came down and dunked right on Paul. And Paul's one of those guys that, all right, you're not going to do that to me. The very next possession, he comes down and dunks right on John Ford. So those were the competitive things, and Danny Thies, and Danny and I went at it. I'm not kidding you. We went at it hard, but I respect him so much, and I know you have a lot of respect for Danny too. So
yeah, Dan was my 8th grade coach.
Okay.
I went from Dan Thies to Tom Lacey. So yeah, it was talk about impactful experiences that really set the path for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dan's energy, just like yours, and passion for basketball was not only unique but genuine.
Mhm. That's so nice of you to say, and I'll never forget. Let's see the time. I'm trying to remember. Oh, when we lost to Ticonderoga at the field house in the JV championship game, when they had JV championship games. And I remember, I went outside and I was bawling my eyes out. And I'm not kidding you, because I thought we could beat them. Do you remember that game?
I don't. I thought we won.
No, they beat us. They beat
Did
us.
they? All right.
Yeah, they had a good team.
Well, again, don't have a problem if you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
It's just, that was an incredible rivalry.
Yep.
They had Mark Trudeau.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and
Jack Hills.
Yep. No, they had good players. I mean, that was an awesome experience growing up, because that was a real rival.
Yep. I know. Do you stay in touch with any of your high school or college teammates at all?
On occasion.
Mm-hmm.
But as you grow older, you go in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still very close with my college roommate. I'm embarrassed to say I should make more efforts in terms of connecting with former teammates than I have.
But I'm good friends with Hal Cohen, and that's what he does. He always stays in touch with people, contacts them, and I don't know if I told you, on my very first show, I had Rick Carlisle and Hal on there together at the same time. I'm not sure if you heard it, but it was a lot.
That's quite that's quite a format right there.
I know. Well, they told a really funny story, and I'll tell it real quick. Rick was playing for the Celtics then, with Larry Bird, and actually he was in Larry Bird's wedding, Rick was, and they needed some players, and Hal was doing his residency to be a doctor in Boston, so Rick calls Hal up, can you come over? We're short a couple players. Now, who wouldn't want to play against Larry Bird, Dennis Johnson, Kevin McHale? So he rushes there. Hal's just couldn't wait to be there. And Hal starts telling the story. He goes, Lace, I was on fire. I was playing so well. Dennis Johnson, I was scoring on him, and I'm thinking now, maybe doctor in the morning and NBA player at night. You know how Hal was. He's kind of a dry sense of humor. So Red Auerbach, comes out, and he calls Rick over, and he said, Hal's thinking, all right, they're going to sign me. They're going to sign me. Red Auerbach says, Rick, get him out of here before he hurts someone.
It's a good thing he is doing his residency.
I know.
I still remember going to the Hall of Fame when I was in 8th grade and seeing a basketball with Hal Cohen's name on it for most consecutive free throw shot.
598.
I mean, I remember my father pointing that out to me.
I don't know if you know this, Charlie, but do you know who second in New York State is?
I can't say I do.
It's Tom Lacey.
How many did you make, Tom?
388.
That's a lot of free throws.
Yep. As you know, the free throw line is a very lonely place, very lonely. So when I teach free throws, if you're right-handed, you got to make sure your right foot's ahead of your left, and I see that incorrectly a lot. So I fixed that, and as you know, when you shoot free throws, you do the same thing every time. How many times did you bounce the ball before you shot a free throw?
4.
4 times. Wow. Okay. So you do it every time, and you kind of just tune out everything, and you shoot your free throw. That's so. I'm a pretty good free throw teacher, and I notice a lot of people that have their wrong foot ahead. If you're right-handed, the right foot should be a little bit ahead of the left, and I see that incorrectly, and I'm going to fix that at camp for everyone, so they become better free throw shooters. So, but
I think you're missing one element, Tom.
What?
Confidence, and I think that's something that always defined you, and that's why I'm not surprised hearing you making almost 400 free throws in a row.
Okay, and Charlie, I know you're not going to believe this, and Travis Gorham said I need to see tape on this, because he doesn't believe me. But and I'm bragging here, but I honestly, I'm not kidding you. I never ever missed a game-winning or game-tying shot in all my years, and I don't know why, but I'm not kidding you either. I look back in my career, and I know I'm bragging, and I'm sorry for bragging, but I really never did, and I don't know what the reason was. I'm a believer in God, and maybe he was at the free throw line with me or whatever shooting, but I know I'm bragging, but it's the truth. But Travis is busted on me. Lace, I got to see tape on that. So what I recall of you, Tom, was someone who had a lot of passion for the game, but also a lot of confidence. So I'm not surprised to hear that outlook. Yeah, that's bragging. I don't like to brag, but when you're 65, you get to brag.
Well, I mean, the truth is the truth, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's bragging if you're telling the truth.
Little bit of bragging, little bit, but last night, as you know, I'm training for the New York City Marathon, and I bought this hand cycle, and I was training. It's only my 3rd time on it, and it's kind of inexpensive, and when I do the New York City Marathon, I'm going to get off at mile 23 and jog like 14-minute miles the last 3 when I reach Central Park. I got a team with me, but I was training on my hand cycle yesterday, and I was at Point of Rush going 40 miles per hour downhill, and I wiped out. Thank God I had a helmet on. I broke a rib. I have stitches. I had to go. Ambulance took me, and today, I'm on pain medicine right now. But you know me, I'm going to get right back on that bike, but I'm going to buy a more expensive one, though. But if you saw the picture of me right now, you'd be amazed. My face is all messed up. I have, the ribs are hurting, but right back at it. You know me. So
I can not imagine anything else.
Yeah.
I think your resilience is what makes you who you are.
Yeah. Yep. And also,
I'm glad to hear you're all right. I mean,
I am.
Yeah. So going 40 miles an hour and crashing. That could have been a lot worse.
I know, and I'm doing fine. I'm on pain medicine, and I have Denfield James. You remember Denfield?
I remember the name.
Yeah, he played for me at Clinton. He's going to be calling at 9 a.m. And for some reason, I don't know why K-Mac didn't, he forgot to call or something. I'm going to get on him for that. I had some good questions for him.
That doesn't sound like John. He's as organized as anyone I know.
Yeah, so something must have happened. He's such a great... But I had some really good questions for him. I was going to bust on him pretty bad.
You have a way of doing that, Tom.
And diplomatically, too. Oh, one last thing. I did miss a game-winning free throw because I was playing in a championship game, and I was at the free throw line, and if I hit both, we win. So I'm playing against Danny Thies and Paul Heinzman, and they're both at the free throw line giving me the choke signal. And I missed the free throws. That's the only time, but it's unbelievable.
I can see this, like I was there.
Yeah, you saw me that day at my worst. I had a bad day that day, and I apologize for that with Gary Butler. What a knucklehead I was that day, and I'm sorry. You remember that?
I do not.
Okay.
Again, Tom, what I remember is someone who always had a smile, someone who always brought positive energy, someone who always cared about the people in the room.
Yeah.
And that's something that anyone who knows you knows that to be the truth.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to end this interview. We're waiting for Denfield James to call. And if you don't remember him, do you?
I think I met him. I've met him before. You've introduced me to him, but it's been a couple of years.
Okay. Well, thank you so much,
Tom, I want
Charlie.
to thank you for having me on this morning, and I want to thank you again for all you've done for me and for so many others. Your impact in the North Country is second to none.
I appreciate that so much. So you take care of yourself. We'll see you.
I look forward to see you a week from Monday.
Okay. You take care of yourself. Thank you.
You do the same, Tom.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Has Denfield called yet? When did we take a break?
Okay. We'll take a short break, and we'll have more of the Tom Lacey Sports Hour in just a moment. Hi, Jeff. Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna have to call.
No, this is the only message I got.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let me call Denfield up. I don't know why he's not.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Ron Guidry talks about the Baseball Hall of Fame.
When you're standing outside and you look, I felt like I was going to church when I walked in it. But then once you walk in it and you start seeing all the memorabilia that's in there from the great players in the past, you become awed by the whole thing.
Celebrate the game, celebrate the passion at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York. Check out baseballhall.org.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hometown Radio, WIRY, and we are now back with more of the Tom Lacey Sports Hour and friends. And here once again is Tom Lacey.
Denfield, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Are you driving right now?
Nah, man, we stopped for a second here, so
Okay.
got a few minutes.
All right, good. First of all, I want to introduce, this is Denfield James, who played for me at Clinton Community College. He's still the all-time leading scorer there. And I have a ton of questions for you. People have made comments. Pete Carson said, he made a comment that you're the best player he's ever seen. And he couldn't be on the show because he's camping. Pat Dixon, I couldn't get a hold of, but Jeff Konowski said the very best ever, and a whole bunch of people. Do you remember Neil Fassett? You remember Neil?
Yeah, I do remember Neil, just slightly though, but I remember him. He used to with you. He used to hang out with you, or I know from you though.
He played for me in high school, and he ended up going to RIT, and he's doing really well. But he said Denfield is definitely one of the best college players in North Country has seen. He was a pure scorer, fearless competitor, and an example how a community college education could be a great path to becoming successful in life. And he said, congratulations, Denfield, for everything you have accomplished. That's very nice.
Yeah, very nice. Appreciate all that love.
Yeah. And who else? Let's see. And Freddie Morrow also said the very best, that he's ever played with. And he recalls so many competitive times with you. I have in here right now is one of your teammates, and it's a surprise, and it's Jeff Huey.
Oh.
So I'm going to let you chat with him real quick. Why don't you guys have a chat?
Denfield.
All right. Jeff.
Denfield, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm awesome. Praise God, hallelujah. I'm on cloud 9 right now. So before
man,
this is incredible. So before we go too far, I have some platitudes that I have to offer you as well. And this is from the sincerity of my heart. You were the best teammate I've ever had. When I was playing in school in New York City for junior high school on the JV, I was the leader. When I went to Cardozo in the city, there was a lot of leaders ahead of me. Kevin Story, some of the best ball players, whoever played the game, NBA quality. I didn't go to school with Rafer Alston, but he went to my school. Dwayne Carswell was drafted, went to Miami Heat to play behind Alonzo Mourning. So the school produced some nice, really great players. I was not one of them, but I was on the team. So I had some good leaders at that squad. When I came up to go to Clinton, I've never had a better leader or teammate than you in the entirety of my life. And I know we didn't play very long. It was a community school. But, dude, I'm telling you, take this for what I'm saying and for face value. You were the best to do it in my life. So I always appreciated you.
Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate that love, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, we had a real good team, though, man. Just all around. Solid people, not even like basketball wise, just solid people all around.
Yeah,
so it was a great time for me, man.
Like Tom mentioned, Jeff Konowski and Frank and Carsey and Sam and Brad and all the players, the Maddox brothers, all the players that we had.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good leadership with our coach. We had great leadership with our point guard. I remember hearing during the layup lines, the other teams talk about how strong you were. Now, I never played against you. We practiced, but we were different positions. But I remember hearing the other teams talk about how strong you are. And I always watched that you had a great center of gravity and you had great body control. And I just remember, I'll never forget the displays of scoring that you would put on. And your defense was outstanding as well. So you had a great all-around game. You had a great all-around mindset. We had two great leaders in Tom Lacey as coach and you as point coach. So, we got to give you guys both credit.
I forgot our assistant coach. We had
a couple of them.
Do you guys remember him? Man, really nice guy.
It's been so long.
It's been a while. I got his face, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah. He was in the military.
Jeff Huey, I remember him.
Yeah, I remember our assistant coach because we were playing one game and I couldn't score a bucket, but my defense was top choice, and Tom Lacey wanted to pull me out of the game. And I remember the assistant coach said, "No, he's playing good defense against their best play. He kept me in the game." Nothing personal, Tom.
Wow.
Good to hear.
Yeah, all these guys. Like, I'm going to ask you this question right away: best shooter, Nick Fortin or Pete Carson?
Nick Fortin.
For real?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Nick was solid, man. Nick was solid.
Unfortunately,
just a shooter, though.
Yeah. And Pete is listening to this, so you better.
But Pete was a better all around.
Yeah.
To me. But Nick was just a shooter. And when you just said, because your question is the best shooter.
Yeah.
To me, he was a better shooter, but not all around player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when we went to we played in the Onondaga basketball tournament, and we won that tournament, and the year before I didn't have a really good team, and we got annihilated by both teams, and so they wanted to play us in the first round, and with all you guys, we won that tournament, and I remember Jim Boeheim, he invited our team to his practice, and we all went there, and we had a big team. We had Sam and Marty, and they were playing Eastern Kentucky the next day, so they thought we were Eastern Kentucky. So, and Derek Coleman, he was looking right at Sam and dunking and staring at Sam like, this is going to be for you tomorrow. So that was pretty neat. And I also remember Rob Moore, who was playing for the football team at Syracuse. He came and he saw you. He saw you and he said, "Denfield, what are you doing here?" And I think he said, "You should be playing football." So were you a pretty good football player?
Yeah, I was probably a better football player.
Wow.
Yeah, but when I think my junior year, I transferred schools in high school, and at that point, went to St. Agnes. My coach was Frank Morris. And they had a great program. Billy Donovan came out of there.
Wow.
Who else was with them? Mike Malone. He coaches the Nuggets. Coaches the Nuggets now. Yeah, he was with me. Rob was with me up until my sophomore year. We played AAU together. We played travel ball together.
Do you stay in touch with him at all, or?
No, I don't. I haven't. I stay in touch with his cousin, but I haven't talked to him in. I can't even remember the last time I talked to Rob.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on my show.
Him and I were real close when we were traveling, though.
Yeah.
Another
guy that had a lot of influence on you is a coach named, is it Don Ryan?
Yeah, he was our travel coach, AAU coach, Don Ryan. Yes, he's our travel coach.
He's well known, and he's done a lot for that community, and I've heard about him, and you talked about him a lot, and I'd like.
he's still in the community. I think he became mayor.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he became mayor of Hempstead. But he had a great influence on a lot of us. The quarterback that ended up going to Syracuse, Warren Stipp.
Oh yeah.
He was there. Yeah, he was there. I think right after Donovan, I think was the dude's name. But he was great. He was a great leader, man. He kept us out of the things that we needed not to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a lot of great talent, man. There was a lot of great talent that came through there.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. J played into the same AAU team that he
Wow.
became the leader of. Yeah. You know, and I think he wore like number 32. So anyone that got number 32, they were like, you know, they're supposed to be the best on the team. I never had it then, but I was always the youngest one on that team.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But Don had a great influence on all of us, and we all still kind of, you know, whenever we can connect with him, we will.
Mm-hmm. What other sports did you play? You went to Kellenberg, right? After?
Yeah. Bishop Kellenberg.
What sports?
I played lacrosse.
Wow.
Right,
football.
right.
I played baseball, and I played basketball.
Mm-hmm. How did you
played,
become so good in basketball? What, man?
It's just from, you know, we grew up in like a rec center,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and basketball was the one thing that everyone always did.
Mm-hmm.
But baseball was the first sport I really learned how to play.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got a little older, a lot of us kind of wayed from baseball, went to basketball or football, and lacrosse is huge. Lacrosse is huge when we grew up. I mean, we used to play lacrosse just in the park.
Wow.
Everyone else that thick, we would just play lacrosse. So basketball kind of just took over from there.
Mm-hmm.
But I always had the love for every sport. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Every sport I always had a love for.
Hempstead is a tough area. How did you stay out of the, you know, some things that could happen in you know, cities like that?
Yeah, two major things that I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Don Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Don Ryan kept me out of a lot of that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I transferred school into Kellenberg,
Yep.
that kept me out of a lot of stuff.
Good.
Because as I mentioned, that's when I stopped. I only played football 1 year after
Mm-hmm.
that. And then after that, my coach, he was like, hey, listen, we're going to dedicate ourselves to basketball. And we played basketball all year round.
Wow.
We were just always moving
Mm-hmm.
basketball. And that kept me out of a lot of things, kept me out of trouble and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. How did you end up at Plattsburgh? I did ask you that question, and I kind of take credit for getting here, but I had no credit. Honestly, I remember, you know, I say, oh, I recruited him. I'm going to tell everyone right now I didn't recruit him. You know, I'm gonna come clean. All of a sudden, you're at my practice, and I'm saying, wow, this guy is phenomenal. You know, I mean, how in heck? And so how'd you end up here again?
Well, out of high school, I went to Virginia Union.
Mm-hmm.
I went down to Virginia Union, and we had a situation down there where it was either take a semester off and then reapply. So I think his name was Cowan, Coach Cowan, or Cowan?
Yeah, Larry Cowan.
At Plattsburgh.
Yep.
He was recruiting me out of high school,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I wasn't really looking at Plattsburgh coming out of high school because I had so many other places that I was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that incident down in Virginia,
Yep.
somehow, I don't know if he knew or someone contacted him, and you know, they got in contact with me, and they're like, are you interested still in playing basketball? And I was like, yeah, of course, you know, I'm just going to take the semester off.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, hey, come up here for, you know, the summer. And I ended up going up there for the summer school, and I was like, you know, it's pretty cool, man. It was a nice environment, a nice college environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to stay. I took a couple of classes over at Plattsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
and then I decided to stay, and I went to the community college, the
Mhm.
JUCO,
Yep.
and that's how I ended up with you. And once I was there with you, you know, I just felt at home, and everybody else. I lived with Jeff Huey, who
Mhm.
was my roommate.
Yeah.
Who was my roommate.
5 Count Street.
So we had,
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys must
It
have
was
had some fun times.
Yeah, it was a good time when I was there for the summer, so I decided to stay there. So that's how I ended up staying and playing with you. But it was definitely a great decision that I didn't know. And most of the decisions we make in life, we don't know it until after.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back on it, I think it was one of the best decisions I've made.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
Now, you had 4 college coaches, 4 of them. You had myself as a freshman, Ferrari as a sophomore, and one of the best, Jerry Welch, as a junior, and then Bill Mitchell, your senior year. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Don't do it.
Rank them in order on... You don't have to, honestly.
Do it.
Well, I'll say this, though. Jerry Welch Jerry Welch is going to be number 1.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Yes. You would be number 2 for me.
Okay, good.
You would be number 2. Yeah, you would be number 2 on that list. Mitchell and the other Ferrari probably be on there, but Mitchell would be last. I would say that.
Okay.
Him and I never really clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Really never really clicked. So, and I never really got to know him. So that's why I would put him last. But Jerry's the first, and you are definitely the second.
Okay.
And overall, as far as having a relationship outside of basketball, you would be number 1.
There you go.
But you and I, we spend time, even when I went to Potsdam, I used to come back. And we would still hang out. And just like now, we still talk.
Yep.
We still talk. We still stay in communication, however long it's been, but we still always stay in communication. So to me, like, number 1, when it comes to someone being in your life and making a difference, that's you. That's you.
Thank you.
And I thank you for all that you've done.
That's very nice of you to say. I'll never. Okay, how did Jerry Welch out-recruit Larry Cowan? What did he do differently to get you to go to Potsdam?
He just showed more interest.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually came to see me a couple of times.
In Hempstead?
No, and well, I wasn't going to Plattsburgh out of Hempstead.
Oh, okay.
This is when I was leaving Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as recruiting out of high school, I wasn't even Jerry Wells or Cowan. I wasn't even. They weren't even on my map.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even on my map. So coming out of high school, that wasn't even a thought. It was after I was with you that Jerry really. I don't know if he knew you or how that happened, but he came hard at that point. He came down to visit a couple of times.
Wow.
He stayed in constant communication with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I ended up going there.
I can't believe your father would drive all the way to Plattsburgh, watch a game, and then go back to Long Island the next day. Is he still alive?
Yeah, my dad is still alive.
Wow, that's great.
He retired early. He ended up building a house in the Virgin Islands. That's where he's from.
Wow.
Actually, he's there right now. He's actually there right now. But that's the type of guy he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of guy.
At Clinton, you scored 51 against Plattsburgh State JV, and they brought a lot of their varsity players down because they wanted to beat us. And that was you just were unbelievable in that game, and it went overtime. And I remember Nick Fortin drilling some big threes, and we won that game. But that was one of the best games I've ever seen you play. I also remember you had 39 against Champlain in the regional game. I don't know if you guys know this, both of you, but there's now Division 1, 2, and 3 for junior college. Back then, it was just one division, and if there was a Division 3, I think we could have won a national championship. I really do, because we had to play Champlain with 12 full rides, and how are we going to beat them? But we only lost by 18, and
they had a crew, though.
They had a crew.
I know. Squad. Yeah, but we played well. They had no answer for you. And you ended up making all region. I think third team. I think you should have been first team. And I remember that game. And you were just. I remember the day before practice, and you always spoke your mind, but people respected you so much. And I said, all right, guys, what is it going to take to beat Champlain College? And everyone got their turn. I think Jeff got in there and said, we got to play really good defense, and we just have to play our best game ever. And you didn't mean it in a bad way. You said, Sam and Marty have to get a heart. I'll never forget that. And you know what?
I don't remember that, but I know one thing. They had a couple of the big guy. I think his name was Willie or something like that.
Yes, yep.
And we needed to kind of control him. And remember, Coco had to go guard him.
Yep.
And we really needed them, though. We really needed them.
Yeah.
But it was a solid team, though. We had a solid team.
Yep. They played, because you said that, they played the best games they've ever played against Champlain.
Good.
And you didn't mean anything bad by that. You were just, that was you.
Yeah, Sam and Pat, they hung out with us all the time, Jeff.
I remember.
At the house all the time.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I used to ride motorcycles with that guy.
What?
Good times at Ridgemont High, man.
I went up to, I used to hang out at Sam's house when he lived. His dad was the correction officer.
Okay.
At Dannemora.
Yeah.
His house is right there by the prison.
We played barn ball at Fred's house.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Hung out at Fred, yeah. That's the type of team that we had, though, where we had relationships outside of basketball.
Yeah.
We had relationships outside of basketball, so that's what made it great for me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
those relationships.
Talking about relationships, I remember in the cafeteria at Clinton, that was the only time, from a little snot-nosed kid coming from New York City, that was the only time I would order French fries and let anybody eat them was the boys.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I want you both to talk about Coco. He passed away. I'm not sure how it happened. I hear rumors, but I'm not positive. But I want you both to talk about him. He passed away on Christmas Day of all days, 3 years ago. But talk about him.
Yeah. Coco was he was solid. Coco was solid, and now that I started talking to him more within the last 2 years, and the crazy part about this that you're asking us to talk about him is I was just about to go down and visit him
in Houston. Yeah.
In Houston, because him and we became a little closer. He started reaching out to me.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he was still talking to Jeff.
Yep.
Kaunowski, and I was like, oh, all right, yeah. I'm like, yeah, let me have his number and so forth. And we were talking like weekly. He would give me a call, or I'll call him, and he just went out to Vegas for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
He just went out to Vegas for his birthday. He came back, and I kept calling his phone, and it was no answer. And I think what's the name was living down there with him? Sean.
Yeah, Sean East.
Sean's living down there with him. I never got Sean's number from him, and I wanted to call Sean, but I never got Sean's number. And then I think you ended up calling me and let me know what happened. And I was like, man, I'm just talking to this guy, and we were planning on just connecting as far as me going down there, because I've never been down to Houston or even Texas for that matter. But Coco was a solid dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have much love for Coco. Solid dude.
Yeah.
He was a great teammate, a great person.
Yep.
Him and I used to, when I used to drive back home, he's like, yo, I'm riding with you. And I'm like, all right, I'll drop you off, on the way down. I would stop, chat with his mom, his grandma,
Yeah, his mom was great,
dude, But I mean, I'll go back to what I've said previously. As all of us, as teammates, we were solid, and we had relationships outside of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So that was made it great, man. And Coco connected back with me. I guess I think he talked to you, and and then you had called me and like, hey, listen, Coco wants to call you. And I'm like, man, let that man call me. Go ahead, yeah. I'm like, yeah, of course. So that's when we really started talking, and as I mentioned, we used to talk like on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, that just took me by surprise.
Of course, so sad.
but I know he had some medical issues he was telling me about.
Okay.
But then, that just took me by surprise, man. Rest in peace, my guy.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Solid dude, man. Solid dude.
I remember looking back on it now how much I needed Coco as a teammate. Coco, when I came to Clinton, I had the starting position over Coco, and I remember we would do layup lines and dunk lines, and I remember I would dunk with a little bit of authority. I wanted to be like Dominique Wilkins and do windmill dunks, and one I'd miss, or two I'd miss, and one I'd hit, and he would do this real sweet finesse dunk. He was more like Tracy McGrady. He would just kind of gently, he had these nice hops, and he just gently put the ball through the hole, and his percentage on dunks made was higher than mine. I had the starting position over him, and I gotta tell you this true story, which is why I really appreciated this going this way. When I met, you remember Heidi?
Yes.
Well, we married, man, and yeah, we did. So I remember when I met Heidi, my basketball skills just took a back seat. She became my everything, and it showed up in practice. It showed up in the games, and my focus on her really hurt my ability to play well. And I lost my starting job to Coco, who deserved it. In practice, he was busting his butt. He was doing everything he needed to do, and he deserved to get my position. I was very happy for him because I know I was very distracted. I was happily distracted. So when he got that position, I was one of his greatest cheerleaders. And I know we always have this competition in the gym because, again, finesse dunk over power dunk, and but his game really grew, and his game really flourished when he took the front seat. And I wasn't bitter whatsoever. I was very, very happy for him, and he deserved it, and I enjoyed watching him play. And for someone who was a starter back in the day, it's the first time in my life where I didn't mind taking a back seat and actually watching you guys play together. I still got my run. I still got my minutes. But I really was happy for him that he got that starting position. Actually took a little bit of pressure off of me, which is why I really needed him on that team, because he really did a great job in my place.
I got a funny story that I'm going to tell, and I think Denfield knows about it. You guys got in a little trouble or downtown. I don't know really what happened. I have no idea.
I remember.
But Coco took off, and I have no idea what happened, but a woman policeman caught him, and you would not, you wouldn't cut him no slack for that. Busting his chops, saying, "How could a woman cop catch you?" So that's pretty funny.
It was like, Coco, don't run, and he was gone.
Yeah, that's what it was. Don't run.
I want you to talk about Denfield when you played Hamilton College, undefeated. ECAC championship, 32-0, and tell me about that game. I know you hit 2 free throws. Do you remember being really nervous at that foul line, or was it just you won the game with those free throws?
Yeah, I don't remember being nervous. I tell you the thing that I do remember about that. It was so many people in the gym, it felt like the basket was moving.
Wow.
You know how you have, fans jumping?
Yeah.
They didn't have any fans in the back like that. But it felt like that. It seemed like that basket was moving. But that game and leading up to that game, our team, we thought we should have made the NCAA.
Yeah.
We had a very good team. We thought we should have made it, and we went into that game with a chip on our shoulder. We went into that game with a chip on our shoulder. I was super nervous, though. Super nervous. But once again, it's a team sport, man.
Yep.
The teammates was there. They knew I was nervous. Most of them, they've been in situations like that before, because I think they've been in the NCAA tournament before.
Oh yeah. Well, no, they didn't. Their coach.
Jerry did.
Yeah, their coach
Jerry
never would accept NCAA. He'd always go ECAC.
Yeah.
Coach Murphy. For some reason, he didn't want to be in the NCAA tournament. He just did ECAC. But they were 32-0, and
Yeah,
you guys
I remember that.
beat them. And when I heard about that, I was so proud of you. You know, I'm thinking free throw line, how nervous that can be to drill both of them.
Yeah, that basket seemed like it was moving to me. I'm telling you, it was just shaking.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, once again, I always go back to it. We can't do it by ourselves.
Yep.
And that's why, people say there's no I in team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always a team effort. That was a great team right there.
Mm-hmm.
We played great that game. Game. We played great. And we knew we were going to play good when we were leaving.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to have to play another great game. They, like you said, they were 32-0.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to have to play the best game that they ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all those 32 games, this was going to be the one that they had to play their best. And they played now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We take nothing from them. They played.
What a great win that was for you guys.
Yeah, it was. It was huge. I just, a lot of it, I don't remember as far as in game. I still have it on a VHS actually.
Mm-hmm.
I have that game on a VHS. I don't know where it is, but I have that game on a VHS. But it was just a great win. It was a great win for the team, a great win for the school.
Mm-hmm.
It was a televised game. I think one of the local stations or something like that. So it was just a great win, man.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball. For most of us that played it, it played a big part in our lives and just growing up. And sports do play a big part in everyone's life.
Yeah.
That, invest in it. But basketball was it for me. And that was one of the memorable moments of my career, I would say.
Mm-hmm. I remember one thing that we did preseason. I had the team climb Poca Moonshine.
Yep.
And you came up with an excuse. You didn't do it. You said,
I was about to say, I don't remember that.
yeah, you said, my ankle's hurting, coach. I can't do it. You son of a gun. You missed out, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. But it was once.
Like it is.
Well, that's the truth. But once you made it to the top. Now again, from the city, everything in my life was flat ground and concrete jungle. But once you made it to the top of that mountain, there was a sense of accomplishment. But Tom seems to forget. We were city boys, man. We were used to sprinting, not this long uphill climbs. But in the end, it really did build endurance. It built stamina. It made us be able to play the entire length of the game. And, and I did not like suicide, so I'd rather climb up a mountain anytime. Much more scenic.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Wow. Corey Dace, you remember him?
Yeah, I remember Corey.
You still in contact with him? You guys battled, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I remember Corey, man. I learned a lot from Corey, man.
Yeah.
Corey was a knowledgeable basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
He was very good. He's a very good basketball player. I learned a lot from him, and that's the other thing. And Jeff, man, I'm gonna have to stay in contact with you. I'll get your info. But the one thing that I don't know if I'm bad about it is just like getting in contact with people.
Yeah, it's always nice. Yeah.
Yeah, my son plays baseball, and we're on the road right now. But that keeps me just busy all year round.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Denfield,
Always.
Where do you live?
I'm in Atlanta.
So it won't be hard because eventually when I do retire, I will be moving to Georgia. My kids live in McDonough, and some of my kids live in McDonough. Some of my kids live in Roswell, and we're hoping to live near the Cummins area. We go into Dalton area quite a bit, Marietta, Alpharetta. So there's a good chance that we are going to connect because I'll be there after I retire. My son-in-law works at Delta.
Yeah, we'll definitely connect because the places that you're naming is right around me. I'm right next to Marietta.
On the north side, there you go.
Yeah, I'm right next to Marietta. Roswell is maybe 15 minutes from me.
Wow.
McDonough's a little hike, but if you're in the vicinity, McDonough will probably be the furthest. But we'll definitely connect, bro.
Yeah, we'll be on the north side. We'll be on that Roswell, probably northeast side when we make it down.
Oh, so
That'd be great.
We're right around the corner from each other there.
Yeah.
If you are on this side, as I mentioned, McDonough's the only one that's a little ride for me.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll connect and we'll talk about some of the good stories and we'll just bury the bad ones.
There weren't a lot of bad
there.
ones. Yeah. John K-Mac, did you play against John in college? And how did that matchup go?
I don't remember John.
Oh,
Where did he play?
Oh, he played at Plattsburgh State. I thought you remember him. Okay. He was supposed to be on my show, and he didn't call in. But I had Charlie Mason, who did great too, though. But we got to end up soon. I did have one other question. Oh, yeah, just talk about your family. You know, it seems like you're doing great. How many kids you have, and the baseball, you know, and you know.
Yeah, well, yeah. Married now. I have a wife, Linda.
Yep.
We have. I have a daughter from when I was in school, Brittany.
Yep.
She's in Syracuse. She lives in Syracuse now. She comes down and stays a couple of times a week. Not a week. A couple of times in the summer, and I may go up there a couple of times. We have a 16-year-old son which plays baseball right now.
Yep.
He's doing that travel circuit ball, which
Sure.
is just brutal. It is brutal, but he's very good at it. He's very good.
Nice.
I ended up moving down to Atlanta when I left Potsdam. I ended up moving down here. A buddy of mine, he had come down here a couple of years prior. So I moved down here. That's when I met my wife. But yeah, we're solid family, man.
Great.
Nice.
She does what she has to take care of us.
I saw a picture of her. You know, I mean, you sent me a picture. I got to say, you overachieved. She is very pretty.
Nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Jeff did too. You know, he overachieved too. You both have great wives. So.
Thank you, Tom.
So, okay, you guys, you stay in touch, okay? And you know, somehow get his information. Denfield, you're the best.
You're the best, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yo, Jeff, man. Much love, Jeff.
Much love, my brother. We'll keep in
Okay.
touch.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Not a problem. Thanks for y'all having me on. Y'all have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Both of you.
Okay,
Blessings.
thanks.
All right.
Blessings.
Then.
Take
All right.
care. Bye.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, and that's the end of our show today. John K. Mack did try to get a hold of me. He just forgot, but Charlie Mason did an excellent job, so we'll have him another time. So, okay, thank you, everyone.